If lesson plan is eating up your evenings, this workflow will save you serious time. For many educators, the most significant barrier to impactful teaching isn't the delivery, it's the hours spent behind the screen drafting lesson plans. What if you could finish a week's worth of lesson planning before your morning coffee even gets cold? Microsoft 365 Copilot has a built-in lesson plan feature that can draft a structured lesson plan for you in minutes, based on your subject, grade level, duration, and even your own uploaded materials. Today, I'll show you how to create a complete lesson plan with Microsoft 365 Copilot, from learning outcomes to activities, assessment checks, and inclusive adaptations in minutes, not hours. I'll also show you the exact workflow, how to refine the plan with tone and length controls, and the essential quality checks you should do before teaching. But for this workflow, we are using the free Microsoft 365 Copilot experience. It uses the context you already have access to and respects your organization's permissions. So the lesson plan feature is available to educators in classwork, in Teams for Education, and in Teach within the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. But in this video, again, we are using it within the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. The first step is to access the lesson plan. To do that, I'm going to click on this navigation button on the left hand side of the page and then click on Teach. And within Teach, you can see a list of teaching tools here, but what we need is the curriculum planning. And in front of the curriculum planning, you can find a lesson plan. So I am going to click on lesson plan. And before we proceed, we have to fill in some key information. As you can see, in terms of the subject, the topic that you are trying to cover, the grade level, language, and a description. So in this case, we are going to assume that this lesson plan is for a BSc data analytics module called data visualization. And the topic or the subject is storytelling in data presentation. So I'm going to key that in storytelling in data presentation. So after that, I'm going to select the grade level. So you can see that it has been designed to cover a wide range of grade levels, right from kindergarten up to higher education. In this context, we are going to select higher education. Also, you've got the option to pick from a wide range of languages from different countries. But in this context, we are going to stick to English United States as that is closest to what we need here. And then we have to provide a description. For the description, it's important that you are detailed. And in this situation, what does a detailed lesson description for a lesson plan mean? It means that you have to include the context. There must be the goals or learning outcomes for that lesson, the session focus or the content, and the student expectation. Those four key criteria is extremely important for your description so as to have the best result. So in this context, I'm going to paste the lesson description. Now here is where the feature gets much better. You can attach various blended resources, including journal articles, textbooks, worksheets, and even existing lecture slides. Up to 5 Word or PDF files from OneDrive or your device to ground the lesson plan in your existing materials. We will keep it simple in this video using only an existing lecture slide and a journal article. So I'll click on upload file and then I will select the journal article here and click on open. Don't forget you have the chance to upload up to 5 different text based files. So I will click on add contents and then upload files again, and then I will select find the existing lecture for to better ground the output. You can see it's uploading. So you can see that I've included in this case I've included an existing journal article and a an existing lesson lecture slide to ground the output. So don't forget you can also select the minutes. Okay, it also gives you the option to select the minutes based on the duration for the lesson. So in this context, I will click on 180 minutes to better support the output and click generate, and you see the Microsoft Copilot generate lesson plans. Now you can see that Copilot has produced a lesson plan outline that you can immediately edit, and that is why you can see draft one of one there. It's prompting you to save your lesson plan. Of course, it doesn't. You don't want to lose the progress that you've made. But I'm going to click on Got It at the moment. You also have the option to save to OneDrive immediately. So you can see that there are AI powered suggestions. There is an overview of the lesson plan. It has provided an objective or set of objectives, the materials needed for effective delivery of the lesson has also been provided, and then it has gone on to provide the content of the lesson, including the foundation, introduction to the topic, a very clear structure. And then one thing you notice, of course, is that it has also provided some activity based on the description that I provided previously. So the tool can offer suggestions that also regenerate the entire plan and suggestions that enhance individual sections. You can choose to add bullet points and detail. So ensure you carefully scroll through generated sections. Again, based on the objectives, the outcomes, the activities, the timing, the materials, and make sure you check for understanding. Don't forget that you also have the option of editing each of the contents, as you can see, just by clicking on that pen option. Aside from the use of these modification controls on the right hand side of the page to change the content of your lesson plans, you can also click on the pen icons attached to each of the sections to edit the content. So let's assume you want to edit the objectives. All you need to do is just click on that icon, and you can see a list of the opportunity to edit how the objectives appears. You can choose to delete some if you don't want it, and you can also use the arrow to move sections up and down. If some of this does not apply to your context, you can see options, AI generated alternatives, or that are in terms of objectives that you may want to consider. If none of this applies to you, you can, you know, click on this refresh link, and it will suggest a fresh set of objectives. Also, with the content, you can do the same for the materials. So for the content as well, you can. All you need to do is just click on that icon. You can change the title. You can change the minutes. Also you can change the plans depending on what you want, and just as the objective section is, you can move the sections up and down, or you can delete depending on what you prefer. And most importantly, don't forget that you can move the sections up and down as well. Yes, you are not allowed to move the objectives and materials, but for the content, you can see the arrow that is pointing up and down. So you can choose to move them around if you want to rearrange the order of the plans. This is my favorite part, refining the lesson's tone and length depending on your cohort. In the modification controls that you can see on the right hand side of the screen, you can adjust different parts of the lesson plan. So here you can choose to directly type into this box whatever changes you want to make about any aspect of the lesson plan. It has also given you some suggestions, and you can click on more suggestions if you want a different set of suggestions to be provided. So you can do that iteratively and choose whatever is best appropriate to your context. You can also, as you can see, in terms of the tone, it's got four different tone types. The instructional part is about more of clear and concise. With the interactive one, it means more participation. The creative tone is about the innovative approaches, more of innovative approaches to delivering the content, and the inclusive one addresses more of diverse learning needs. If you look at the length as well, you can adjust the length, and concise is more of like a light structure with fewer bullet points. The default, which we have the current lesson plan sample current set to, is the default. So that is more of like a balanced. But with the expanded one, it provides a more of a step by step delivery in detail. So again, as I said, the language, we're going to stick to that. You can change that if you want. You now decided to change, to you want the lesson plan in a different language. If you're not satisfied with whatever has been generated, you can go ahead to regenerate the lesson plan. Okay, if that is what you wish. So beyond presets, don't forget that you in this case, let us try some examples. So the example one, if we say let's look at let me add um, differentiation. So I can say add differentiation for EAL learners, lower literacy, and high achievers. And high achievers. Okay, so I can say that, and I can even include, let's say, provide alternative activity options. Okay, so I can say that, and then I can click on regenerate lesson plan, for example. As you can see, it has implemented the enhancements from the perspective of differentiation to reflect different types of learners I have in a class. So it has changed to draft 2 of 2, as you can see. And then if you look at the learning objectives, you can see that it has implemented the suggestions or the review that I've requested for. So you can go ahead, based on whatever you want, make sure you play around with the tone, with the length as well. And of course, look at the different suggestions that it will be providing here, and keep reiterating until you find a lesson plan, you get the lesson plan that suits your context. So don't forget that this feature is not grounded in factual knowledge beyond what you as the educator has provided. So while it can write fluently, it may generate content that is inaccurate or inappropriate. So you must review and validate everything before using it with learners. To improve output quality, Microsoft recommends giving clear and detailed inputs and adding attachments and standards where relevant. Before you use any AI generated plan, ensure you do these three checks. Number one, accuracy check. Verify facts, policies, and any other claims. Copilot outputs can be inaccurate or inappropriate, so educators must validate and review. Second is alignment check. Ensure it matches your module outcomes and assessment requirements. 3 is the inclusion check. Scan for bias, stereotypes, or one-size-fits-all activities. And a quick reminder, Microsoft 365 Copilot works within your service boundary and only access data you are authorized to access. So please don't go uploading sensitive details into prompts or into the description. The key insight here is that you are in charge. AI is not a replacement for your expertise. If you want to master more AI workflows for the classroom, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.